First, you make a roux. We've all heard that said before, right? But what is roux? Well, in its simplest form, roux is 1 part flour to 1 part oil by volume, all right? The kind of history of it began in France. The French applications for roux were usually a white roux or a blonde roux. A white roux to make bechamel sauce and a blonde roux to make velouté sauce. Somewhere along the way, as the Cajuns made their way to South Louisiana, we like to play with those roux a little bit more, and we darkened them up a little bit to make a light brown roux to a dark brown roux. Man, you could even make a black roux. Basic utensils for making roux, there's nothing like black cast iron, okay? Maybe even enameled cast iron. But the simple black cast iron works really well. It absorbs heat and conducts heat really good. We're gonna put about 1.5 cups of oil. And because we want to show the white and the blonde stages, I'm going to go ahead and throw in the flour now as well. When you're using cast iron, it's very important that you use a wooden utensil. The main reason for that is that we really love our black cast iron in South Louisiana, and we would hate for them to rust or anything. So metal on metal is not a good idea. The first stages of white roux, all I'm going to be looking for really is for it to start bubbling a little bit. As far as thickening properties are concerned, the rule is the whiter the roux, the more thickening powers it has. The darker the roux, the less. So sometimes these black roux and whatnot, which by the way do not taste burnt, or they shouldn't taste burnt, they have the less thickening power. As you see, it leaves a nice trail. If it didn't do that, I'd add some more flour to it. You start looking at that and you're going to start seeing some light brown there, browning action happening. So that would be the mark of a blonde roux. The blonde roux is just a little bit darker, you know? It's a little bit nuttier, you know? But it certainly doesn't have the nutty quality that a brown roux has. I guess the color we're looking for the next stage is like a light peanut butter. If it's a brown, a medium brown, or dark brown roux I'm looking for, then I would go ahead and put the fire up and under the oil and let it heat it up until almost a smoking point. And then add all the flour at one time and beginning to stir immediately. And then that's less time stirring, you know, rather than putting it in like I did for this roux right at the beginning. Can't leave a roux, never stop stirring, because once little bits burn at the bottom, it's done for, and you can't fix it. It's only flour and oil, throw it away, start all over again. And then we have a light brown roux, used for many soups and light stews in South Louisiana. And then what we have here, a real dark brown roux for a lot of gumbos and really hearty dishes, you know. And when I see that color, this is the point where I would enter the Trinity, but not all at one time. I'd just add the onions first, you know. You ever notice when you cook onions and you caramelize them, they bring a sweetness? Well, that can't happen if you put in the celery and the bell pepper, because the water content of those two vegetables are high and would inhibit the onions from browning. So I like to cook the onions for about 10-15 minutes before I add the celery and the onions, celery and the bell peppers. I think it makes a big difference in the way of giving just the gumbo a more complex flavor. So try that next time you make your gumbo. Roux, can we cook in South Louisiana without it?